When John Harbaugh stops everything to praise a player, you know it's serious. And no, he wasn't talking about Jair Alexander. He was talking about a guy barely anyone mentioned when he signed, but who's quietly making waves at Ravens camp. Chidobe Awuzie. What Harbaugh said about him during practice caught a lot of people off guard. And honestly, it might completely change the way you look at this Ravens roster. There's way more to this story than fans realize, and the impact could be a lot bigger than anyone expected. You ever notice how some players don't make a ton of noise, but just always seem to do things right? That's Chidobe Awuzie. While everyone's talking about Jair Alexander and those flashy interceptions, Awuzie has been quietly putting together a rock-solid camp. You might not see his name lighting up the highlight reels, but the coaches, they're paying attention, and they love what they're seeing. What stands out the most is how Awuzie's always in the right place at the right time. That's not luck. That's football IQ. That's experience. That's a guy who understands space, understands leverage, and knows how to adjust on the fly. And when you got someone like that in your secondary, especially one as complex as Baltimore's, that becomes a serious weapon. And get this, he's not just locked into one role. Even though he spent most of his career on the outside, he's showing in camp that he can do a lot more. He's got the speed, he's got the physicality, and most importantly, he's got the brains to handle different assignments. That's exactly the kind of versatility the Ravens defense is built on. And the best part? It's not just what he's doing on the field that has people excited. It's what the coaches are saying behind the scenes. And one of them, a pretty legendary name, made it clear just how valuable Awuzie might be. When Chuck Pagano, one of the most respected voices in that building, goes out his way to praise a player, you listen. And when he talked about Awuzie, he didn't hold back. He straight up said, his football IQ is off the charts. That's not some generic compliment. That's a clear sign the Ravens see more in him than just another veteran corner. They see a guy who could be a real difference maker. Pagano even revealed that they've started giving him snaps as a dime backer, a role that demands quick processing athleticism and a ton of trust from the coaching staff. That tells you everything. They're not just letting him hang around. They're preparing him for real, meaningful snaps. And why? Because he learns fast, understands the system, and always seems to be in the right spot. Having a player like that on your defense is a gift, especially on a Ravens unit that thrives on disguise, motion, and creative looks. Pagano made it clear. In a scheme that values flexibility and adaptability above all else, a guy like Awuzie is gold. He might not have made a splash when he signed, but don't be surprised if he's the one making clutch plays when it matters most. And what's crazy is his style of play fits perfectly with how the Ravens build their defense, especially when you think about who he's going to be lining up next to. This isn't some rookie trying to prove he belongs. Awuzie's been through a lot in the NFL. He started with the Cowboys, then became a key piece in that Bengals defense that made a Super Bowl run in 2021. Even last year with the Titans, where injuries limited him, he still managed to flash on tape. And fans who know the league, they know when Awuzie is healthy, he plays at a high level. That experience matters. He's battled top-tier receivers, played in hostile stadiums, and performed under playoff pressure. Now, he's back in a division he knows well, the AFC North, with a fresh shot to prove he's still got it, on a team that's hungry to make a deep run this season. That track record is exactly why the coaching staff believes in him, even if the signing didn't generate a ton of headlines. It's not just about what he's doing right now in camp. It's about what he's done for years across the league. He's 30, but he's still moving well and playing smart. Maybe he's not the name everyone got excited about, but that's exactly the kind of pickup that ends up paying off in January. And if you're still wondering whether he's ready to step up, just listen to what Harbaugh said. The head coach didn't hide his excitement.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
The way Harbaugh spoke about Awuzie said a lot. This wasn't some vague coach speak answer. He was genuinely excited. He said Awuzie is finally feeling healthy again, and that's making a huge difference. Since the pads came on, he's been tough to beat, showing flashes of the physical. Smart defender he's always been when he's at full strength. Harbaugh also pointed out how fast Awuzie is picking up the Ravens' complex defensive system. And that's not easy. You can't just rely on talent. You have to understand the calls, the adjustments, the details. And Harbaugh said he's doing all of that at a high level. He listens, he processes, and he applies. That's the kind of player coaches love. Progress like this during training camp is what separates the guys who just fill a roster spot from the ones who actually make an impact. And Harbaugh made it pretty clear Awuzie's on the right side of that line. Not just because of what he's done in the past, but because of what he's bringing to this team right now. And when you put all of it together, the smarts, the experience, the versatility, and now the health, it's no wonder he fits the Ravens' defensive DNA so well. Baltimore's defense has always been built on creativity, intelligence, and toughness. And to make it work, you need guys who can adapt. It's not enough to be great at just one spot. You got to be able to move around, read the field, and make plays from different alignments. That's why players like Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey are so valuable. And it's exactly why Awuzie's carving out his role. He can line up outside, in the slot, even drop down as a dime backer. And the best part? He understands the responsibilities in each role. The Ravens love moving their pieces like a chessboard, and Awuzie gives them even more freedom to do that without losing any reliability or awareness. A lot of fans probably thought Jaire Alexander was the only big-name corner to watch. But slowly, Awuzie is showing he can be just as important to the secondary. Maybe he didn't come in with all the buzz, but on a team like this, where every piece matters, guys like him often end up making some of the biggest plays when it counts. And here's the thing. If he stays healthy, it won't be long before Ravens fans realize just how valuable this offseason addition really was. While everyone's focused on Jaire Alexander, Chidobe Awuzie is quietly earning respect every single day at camp. He may not be the flashiest name on the roster, but he's proving he understands the game, adapts fast, and might just be one of the most important pieces in a defense built on smarts and versatility. And if he stays healthy, he could easily become one of the key leaders in the secondary. Now, let me ask you, do you think Awuzie can surprise everyone and take on a major role in this Ravens defense? Or do you still see him as a step behind the bigger names? If there's one thing this team knows how to do, it's turning underrated players into stars. And judging by the way Harbaugh and the staff are talking about him, Awuzie could be the next name on that list. So keep an eye on him, because this guy might just be one of the biggest surprises of the season.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.